Seems like a strange mix. The chemistry is just not there. For with Jews and generals on Trump's team and a nasty Zio-Christian, Pence, you've got a strange brew. What does a Kushner have to do with a Kelly? A Mnuchin with a McMaster? A Cohn with a Mattis? Nada, at least on the face of it. While Jews don't hang around barracks and generals don't hang around synagogues, Jews are the biggest militarists around. Jewish love for Israel's war machine has replaced the first commandment with, "Thou shalt love the Israel Defense Forces with all your heart, soul, and money." Just ask Jared Kushner, a past member of Friends of the IDF. And how did it happen that neo-lib Democrats, once anti-war after Vietnam, are now super hawks just like neocon Republicans? It's a matter of what kind of Jewish flavor you want. Democratic warmongering or Republican warmongering, both are funded by Jews. And when it comes to politics of an international kind, then stocks and bonds translate into stocks and bombs. Why make bombs and fund the factories if there's no one to fight? Jewish Wall Street finances the arms industry, underwrites their stocks, and seeks a return on investment. Generals buy the deadly stuff with dollars printed out of thin air by the Jewish-owned Fed, who then gouge taxpayers with high interest. Monsters abroad are hatched, and the tanks start rolling, and the bombs start flying. It's repeat business, as new monsters are whipped up every day. But it's bad business for millennials whose dollars spend less and whose steep student loans can't get paid off. And it looks like Shabbos Goys, Mattis and McMaster, Kelly and Pence are flipping the switch for Wall Street first, bleed America fast. Bleeding young Goys too.
You have to worry about sending young people into harm's way, and you're always worried about what could happen, worst case scenarios, whereas some of the political types, they don't necessarily focus in on that.
Well, there's a fondness and appreciation and respect that you develop from, I grew up for 40 years in the Marine Infantry. Infantry is called infantry because infant soldier, young soldier, and I've signed over 1,600 next to kin letters.
Any to Blitzer's tribe? Only the Goys die young.
But we also know some things are worth fighting for.
In wars for the Jews. It's a strange mix on the face of it. Jews and generals in interviews and passing each other at Trump's White House door. But war is a racket, and Jews are the biggest warmongers and racketeers of them all. The stakes are high. If Trump gets in, he's going to drain the swamp. If Hillary gets in, she'll flood it. Obama dug it, filled it, and mucked it up. The stench could suffocate for years to come.
We are going to make America strong again, and we are going to make America great again, and it has to start now. We cannot take 4 more years of Barack Obama, and that's what you get when you get her.
It's not just 4 more years of Obama, it's 4 more worse years of the stinking swamp Obama built. The stakes are high, and the contrasts are stark. Hillary wants the government to invade.
We need comprehensive background checks, need to close the online loophole, close the gun show loophole.
Trump wants to invade the government.
When it comes to Washington, D.C., it is time to drain the damn swamp. That's why I'm proposing a package of ethics reforms to make our government honest once again. If I'm elected president, I will push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress.
Hillary wants to kill babies.
I will defend Planned Parenthood. I will defend Roe v. Wade.
Trump wants to save babies.
If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby. Now, you can say that that's okay, and Hillary can say that that's okay, but it's not okay with me.
Hillary wants war with Russia.
You've seen reports. Russia's hacked into a lot of things. China's hacked into a lot of things. Russia even hacked into the Democratic National Committee. Maybe even some state election systems. So we've got to step up our game. Make sure we are well defended and able to take the fight to those who go after us. As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses.
Trump wants peace with Russia.
I don't know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good.
And the biggest farce of them all is Hillary's pivot to Putin.
In a speech you gave to a Brazilian bank for which you were paid $225,000, we've learned from the WikiLeaks that you said this, and I want to quote, "My dream is a hemispheric common market with open trade and open borders." So that's the question. That's the question. Please quiet, everybody. Is that your dream, open border?
You are very clearly quoting from WikiLeaks, and what's really important about WikiLeaks is that the Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself.
That was a great pivot off the fact that she wants open borders, okay? How did we get onto Putin?
To divert Clinton's crimes to a fabricated tension between America and Russia. That's how. It's called taking your eye off the ball. Trump calls it nuclear warming.
Don't forget, Obama thinks that global warming is our biggest threat. I happen to think it's nuclear warming. Our biggest threat is nuclear. And it's not global warming, it's nuclear warming. And I'll tell you what, we're going to work very hard on that situation because that situation is getting more and more and more out of control. And Hillary talks tough about Russia.
And she's got a gang of neocon Jews that she's warming the nuclear pot for. Chertoff, Kagan, Kristol, Weinstein, to name a few. That's one sure sign Clinton's a sorry choice. For what's good for the Jews is bad for everyone else. If we're really going to drain the swamp, then the neocons have to go. They led us into failed wars abroad and body bags sent back home. Drain the swamp. Don't flood it with the fleas that fouled it in the first place. He'd rather be a lion for a day than a sheep for 100 years. So said the Donald, quoting Mussolini the other day. But he may be a sitting duck if the intra-party adversaries have their way. They're bent on Rubio, even Cruz will do. But Trump, the outsider, makes DC hacks very nervous. That's why Trump's on the warpath to destroy both Rubio and Cruz, anticipating an open Republican convention.
Rubio, total lightweight, and little mouth on him, bing, bing, bing. I see him starting to sweat. Thank God he has really large ears, the biggest ears I've ever seen, because they were protecting him. I think Ted's a very unstable guy. I have never, ever met a person that lies more than Ted Cruz. He doesn't even have the right to serve as president or even run as president. He was born in Canada. So I will bring that lawsuit if he doesn't apologize.
Name calling can wound, but falling short of delegates can kill you. That's the stew Trump's in, and that makes him very nervous. He needs 1,237 pledged delegates to win the first ballot at the convention. He's 3/4 away from that magic number, and there's more primaries on the way. Trump was the leader of Super Tuesday, but was not the winner. Cruz took Texas and got the delegates Trump needed to tighten his path to the nomination. Even if Trump wins Florida and Ohio, he'll still be short of the delegates he needs. Looks like come July, the convention will decide. Any delegates Trump brings with him could be pressured to vote against him on a second ballot. If Adelson, Singer, and Brayman are in the back room making deals, they could put Trump out to pasture. Adding to the farce, Republican Jewish neocons like Kristol and Kagan have threatened to break ranks, join the Democrat warhawks, and back Clinton over Trump.
If a different person were frontrunner or a quote, normal candidate, there would be a coalescing of the party behind the frontrunner. There isn't this time. That's not because people are blind. It's because people don't want to coalesce behind Donald Trump because they don't think he's an appropriate nominee for the party.
As you talk more and more to Republicans who want to stop Donald Trump, who will say to you either privately or sometimes publicly they would rather vote for Hillary Clinton than vote for Donald Trump, and the people who are going to try to stop him, their position is it would be better for us to lose the election than to have Donald Trump tear the party in half.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's the problem.
Proof positive that neocon Jews will do what's good for the tribe and switch parties without even blinking. And even more proof that their game all along was to infiltrate the grand old party with a policy of Jewish imperialism. But Trump could spoil the party. He could pull a Ross Perot.
I am watching television, and I am seeing ad after ad after ad put in by the establishment, knocking the hell out of me. And it's really unfair. I want to tell you something. But if I leave, if I go, regardless of independent, which I may do, I mean, may not. But if I go, I will tell you, these millions of people that joined, they've told them. They're all coming with me.
Doesn't matter. The boys on Capitol Hill want one of their own. If it's not Rubio or Cruz, even Hillary will do.